This is AV SuperFriends On Topic, a 30-minute monthly roundtable focused on a single topic. This discussion will be opinionated, to the point, and saturated with our well-known blend of painfully won expertise and deeply ingrained immaturity. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
everybody. Hey. Welcome to the abode.
This is a nice place.
Yeah, thanks for hosting, Jamie.
Having us over.
Go watch for the kids' toys. Legos, some crowns.
Oh,
watch
crowns.
out. Yeah. Keep yourselves busy.
Crayons?
You can go on outside. Come over to my house. You come to my house for the holiday and you insult me the time you walk through the door.
Just be quiet and pass the gravy.
Is this chutney? What is this? It's like it's got some kind of like a secret spice in that. Is that some family recipe? It's nice.
That's what 14 hours of smoking does.
Oh.
When did you have to start that, Larry? I mean, you came in yesterday, you drove in. I went to bed like a normal person. What did you do?
I was up at 10 p.m. getting it started. Watched it all night long. Sprayed it every 20 minutes.
All good. You had to like rent a car to get that thing in here. That's not your normal rig out there.
Yeah, I had to rent a 3-row SUV just to carry it.
That's some serious smoking power, man.
I'm pretty jealous.
I can't believe you stayed up all night. I seriously can't believe it. You know, it didn't take that long.
It does, man. The good stuff takes time.
You put 3 hours of smoke on that bastard, and then you have this thing called an oven. Finish it off. Go to bed.
An oven?
Have some whiskey. What do you think a smoker is?
Something that produces smoke?
It's an oven with
and
magic
heat.
Smoke in it.
Out in Oregon, it's a whole different thing, guys. I'm telling you. If somebody's smoking something, it's not the same. But this is delicious.
No, it's good, Larry. You did well. You did well. And later on, when you fall asleep and miss all the good conversation and the dessert, that's okay.
I usually do anyway.
Well, this is some good turkey. Either way,
this turkey's great. So thanks to Larry for putting this together.
Yeah. So speaking of it,
I think it's weird that turkey has two definitions.
It does, and it's odd, right? And speaking of, and it being Thanksgiving, and the whole turkey theme, I was thinking about this. Like, what we've spent a year doing all these new types of fangled projects that we got, and all the new stuff that's hitting that's going to make our lives so great and wonderful. But we are all promised a lot of different things from a lot of different stuff. But was all of it as good as everybody said it was? I don't think it was. And my turkey this year, we talked about it last year, but this is my new one this year. And maybe it was on me. Maybe I was a little bit too gullible, but I believed it. But these network gear switch manufacturers out there, they made all these switches that were just easy button kind of stuff, and you just makes all these. It's not a brand name though,
right? Network gear.
I don't know, but whatever. You've seen them where you just it does it all for you. Quick VLAN this, quick configuration there, and I was like, wow, man, guys, this is going to make our lives so much easier. This is going to make us so much quicker to deploy all these systems, these new AV over IP systems, and we got some of these things, plugged them in, set them all up. None of that shit worked on our enterprise network. None of it did. And so they were great, and the literature, I fell for it. I thought it was going to actually work and make everything really, really easy for us. And it made a whole bunch of island VLANs for my network that did not work as I wanted it to, which we then had to go in and manage it like every other managed switch out there. So I don't know. It was they work, but the one good thing I will share that it did allow our group to have a more in-depth network conversation about what we need from our switching capacity here in our classrooms, but I don't know. That was kind of how I felt about it.
So was the disappointment that it didn't work? The disappointment that it didn't fulfill the hoped for dreams?
I was fool enough to believe that we were going to have all this time savings by just quick config, roll it out, boom, all the QoS, IGMP, everything was going to just be turnkey, it rolls, just profile, right? And boom, and no. It wasn't quite that easy.
Well, keep in mind, in order for those to play nice with a larger network, you have to work with your network admins. And we have to remember that the goal of every network administrator is to keep people off the network, including you. So,
but the product is great. It's really, and I think it did help a lot of people have a better understanding of what we needed from a lot of pieces. So it's not all bad. It furthered the conversation. I'm very thankful for that, for my crew and everybody. We're having a better level of conversation, but maybe, like I said, shame on me for believing the hype. It just didn't.
As a private island network, it works great. I like it.
All right. Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
Well, as riveting as this conversation is, I'm actually going to go outside instead of talk shop and go clean up. I know Larry spent a lot of hard work and sweat and tears and blood, maybe blood.
Just lost sleep.
Ew.
Just lost sleep.
Lost some sleep cooking this turkey. I'm going to go clean up. I'll be back here in a little bit.
Right on. Okay, Justin, we're going to keep eating this delicious turkey.
Yeah, don't touch my turkey.
No, we're not going to.
I'll be back.
We're gonna drown it in gravy. Don't worry.
Hey, you look like you're pretty good at hanging projector mounts. You're probably able to run up a ladder with a projector on one shoulder and spin it onto the pipe without missing a beat, right? Well, are you ready for the next level in projector mounting hardware? Then try independent amalgamated frustration mounts. Our factory kits don't line up with any of the popular projector brands. Universal mount interface? What's that? Each independent amalgamated frustration mount ships with almost all the hardware you need to fully integrate with your projector. And for an extra special treat, we'll mix metric and standard hardware and ship them loose in the box. Our anchor mounting points come pre-stripped and cross-threaded for your convenience, and none of our set screws or tension nuts will maintain their position for more than a few minutes, just long enough for you to get down off the ladder and start working on something else. Got a tough installation with a short throw or ultra short throw projector? Independent amalgamated frustration mounts are a perfect solution and will ensure your labor charges really add up. For your next project, try independent amalgamated frustration mounts. You'll hate them. And coming soon, frustration mounts for LCD monitors and TVs.
Yes, Larry. Since you were slaving, Larry, what do you think?
Since I stayed up all night and this tryptophan's starting to kick in, I'm going to go sleep soon. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my turkey out of the way right now. So I was thinking about it, and really, when I think about what my turkey was, it had nothing to do with the product. The product was great. It was the expectation. We put all these nice beamforming microphones in all these classrooms as our new standard, just to make sure that all the students can be heard by everyone on the call who aren't in the room. And I was thinking, if we were in the classroom, would we ever mic the last row of students to make sure that everyone can hear every snide comment that they make? It's never going to happen. Yet we made sure that everyone on the call can hear everything that they're saying. We put a lot of money and a lot of time to make a really nice experience. And honestly, we're not miking conference rooms. We're marking classrooms. And we probably should have ignored those students in the back row because they're sitting in the back row for a reason.
Because they're us, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, no one wanted to hear what I had to say.
Well, fair enough. But anyways,
so you're upset that the mics do what they're supposed to do?
They do what they're supposed to do, and I neglected to make that clear to the instructors when I was putting them in.
For better or
Sounds
worse,
like there's a story here.
If you hear it in the room, you hear it on insert your flavor of
Zoom. We're all
collaboration
using
software.
Zoom. It's Zoom, Mark. No one's using Teams. It's Zoom.
All right, everybody.
I want to say that.
Justin,
hey, Justin, thanks for cleaning up out there.
What'd I miss? Chris, fill me in.
Larry hates listening to people.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the people in the back
he thinks
row.
the people in the back of the room are not important enough to be on collaboration software.
You're not
Well,
important
usually
enough
the
to be
people
here
in the
on
back
time.
of the room don't care anyway, right?
There
See,
you go.
I should have listened to Justin.
See? I walk into a space and just give answers. That's what I do.
So, Larry, we experienced something similar here from the standpoint of people not understanding just how well some of those ceiling microphone arrays work and how much they can pick up in a space. And even though they might mute things locally in the room, that stuff's still going out to your platform of choice, aka Zoom. So having those, let's just say, side conversations about people in the room, not such a great idea. So it's
Maybe
it
people
happens.
just need to be more professional.
Well,
maybe,
Right.
or not realize
Or is that
just
asking
because,
too much?
Well,
The
Larry has a
students.
point that these microphones do their job, do what they're supposed to do very well. The problem is at times they work better than the human ear. So
Exactly.
you may not be
also
realizing that everyone can hear you.
we do too well of making sure that they blend in. And there are many times where, because it's not right in front of your face, you didn't think about it. Is there even a microphone? Is it even up there? What is that? And sometimes maybe it's not one of the beamforming ones. Maybe it's one of the old school, just
flush.
or some of them, is that the vent or is that the microphone? Is that an HVAC? I mean, so I get it. I've had several instances where there's been some embarrassment of that very thing. It's like, well,
Sorry.
whoops.
Don't say stupid things in public.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Just get some cranberry sauce. You'll cover that right up. Don't worry about it.
Crayon sauce? Cranberry?
Crayonberry.
How do you say that in the Midwest?
Crownberry.
Cranberry?
Well, you
You're gonna
Southern
get
people
kicked out of
can't
the
pronounce
house.
crap anyway, so.
Crap. There,
I
did
swear,
it.
I'm going to get
anyway.
all kinds of
I
hate
just
mail on
pronounced
this
it.
one. I'm going to get all kinds of hate mail.
Ugh.
What about you,
Well,
Justin?
hate me.
What do you,
Oh,
what
it's
about
my
you?
turn for
Yeah,
turkeys?
what kind of?
So, I
enjoying
don't know.
this turkey.
I had
What
a
do you
hard
got?
time figuring this one out this year, but this is more of a collective turkey in the future, I believe. That's going to hit us right in the face.
In the year 2000.
Yeah, I know. So we did all the Zoom rooms, and those have some widgets and gizmos, and they're running operating systems of God knows what. And then we're changing our digital signage to little widgets and gizmos that are running Android OS and some weird stuff. And we're trying to get things less expensive overall. And I'm just worried that maybe it's going to be a problem on our network in a few years, and maybe somebody's going to have a lot of work coming to figure out how to replace all this stuff when something hiccups. And just kind of thinking about the future turkey of all the weird OS stuff that we're putting on our network right now.
The whole diversified catalog of widgets and tchotchkes and OS.
Yeah, just the collective nightmare of such a thing is.
I think the OS thing's pretty scary. For
And
long-term
it's
support.
when you really think about it collectively, of all the systems that we're throwing out there, and what we like, some of the stuff we don't even know. Like, there could be turkeys out there we don't know about.
Those are the good
That's
ones. They're
scary.
hiding in the bushes.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
Those are the worst turkeys.
Your security teams will let you know.
No, they will.
The ones
When nothing
the
works.
ones that pop up in a news report.
Yeah.
There was a massive breach at the bank because of this OS. Uh-oh.
Well,
Whoa.
are you managing all those things, or is it just like a don't talk about it, don't acknowledge it? It just
define
goes.
manage. I mean,
I think he's aware of it, but he doesn't want to be responsible.
Plausible
like,
deniability.
I don't know. Some people, like, we got dashboards, and I don't know if those things are always getting updates or not. And
The car has a dashboard. It looks the same as it has for years, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. So, not a problem today, but we'll see what it is in the future.
It's all your widgets as a service.
Well,
Yeah, maybe next Thanksgiving
like
it'll burn my ass.
I want to back Justin up on this. There's a lot of manufacturers, in fact, probably all manufacturers, who have dropped in a lot of easily accessible, discounted operating systems to run some sort of skin on top of a little application widget on top. But they don't think about that stuff in the back end. And Justin, to your point, you're exactly right. People will buy these. They'll just plug them in the network. They'll use them for a few years, and that's fine. But what happens after year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, when those operating systems stop getting any sort of security updates, any sort of patches? And you've got a lot of devices.
When do they
sitting out
start?
there. Well,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
to
like,
that point,
usually
yeah.
like a firmware package, and, AV's like, well, we don't update firmware until it breaks. And, so it's, I don't know. It's kind of,
that has to change.
kind of scary.
You raise some scary
Soft
thoughts
target.
about that stuff.
Your security problems galore.
And the ones that we don't know about. Like, we're buying stuff these days that we really don't know what the hell's on them until we actually, is it Linux? Is it Windows 3.1? Like, what are we
Well,
doing?
I'll tell you right now, they're all running old versions of Android, which even Google has already abandoned. So
Yeah.
when
No,
they stop
that's-
supporting it, there's a problem.
It's coming.
So-
Like that whole security implication is going to be
Like, I'm not
real.
I'm not worried about the security of it, because that's not really my job. I mean, maybe I should be. I'm more worried about all the
I think you should be
bullcrap
worried about
labor
it.
we're going to have to do to replace everything, and how is the process of doing something, and just seems like a lot of work.
Is it also
all
going to
at
be your
once.
job to go out and physically replace those, or is that also not your job?
That's probably my job to like freaking plan it out or spec something new. I don't know. I'll get roped into
New
it
widgets.
somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow you'll be.
I'll
out
just
there
buy a
standing
new
on the
widget
ladder.
with a new Android OS on it. Like, here, try this out for 10
Just a
years.
widget behind that last widget, just a chain of Rube Goldberg
Just a
widgets.
bucket.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you're not wrong that people will be out there unplugging widgets, throwing them in the bin, and putting another one in, which is now secure
Yeah, for a week.
Until it's not.
until it's not.
Well, okay.
Well, speaking of turkeys, I got a turkey for you guys. We've brought it up twice now, related to network stuff, and this is also a network-related turkey. And this is a product that I really like the concept of. The execution in lab settings or in very limited settings, also very cool. In wide-scale, widespread adoption, not so much, and that's why it's a turkey. And there's multiple manufacturers out there, so I'm not going to pick any one manufacturer because they all do the exact same thing. These are those wide-scale audience Wi-Fi mic systems. Just start the little app on your phone and you get to be part of the system. That's great. Again, I think it's a fantastic concept. It does not play well with any sort of network. It doesn't play well with any sort of enterprise security.
On my Wi-Fi.
It does play well with the network, an unsecured network.
An unsecured,
yours.
wide open, we don't have any security network with all of Justin's IoT widgets on it. The ones that either require you to, step one is to connect to a different access point or connect to an internal access point, is an immediate fail. And again, I think the
how did that access
concept of
point even
these
get on your
are
campus?
fantastic, but there is yet to be a single one out there that is worth seriously considering for any sort of real world deployment, because they just won't play well with an existing network structure.
That being said, I know schools that are currently using them. I would love to know how, because I've tried at several and it just doesn't
It's
work.
a bring your own network.
Can I piggyback off of what Chris said and add the output side? So something I've seen consultants do is starting to put hearing assistance devices that broadcast to the Wi-Fi's, and everybody's phone's supposed to get it. I'm like, y'all don't even have a clue
Doesn't
of
work
what you're
that way.
opening up
Yeah,
here.
and the
Pandora's
first-
like, so every classroom can always broadcast no matter what any teacher's saying throughout the whole building all the
Through
time.
those ceiling mics that hear
Through the
everything.
mics.
Yeah, it's
I was
all
like-
being heard. Yeah.
Man, this guy's
You guys are really stupid. Like, what are you
The
doing?
first thing they block on the Wi-Fi is multicast traffic.
Well, they're not. It's not even it's not even going to work. So what's going to happen in reality? If I'm an integrator, what's going to happen? Oh, you're not going to let me do that on your Wi-Fi? No problem. I got that.
Hidden access
Hey,
point.
Best
My
Buy,
little-
can I
yeah,
have
my little
50
lap there. Yep.
access points? You got those in stock? Oh, 20? Oh, don't worry. I'll get the 30 from Target. No problem. And you go over to Target, get those, and you plug them into each lectern. Now the students can log into that single WAP. That's easy, right? That'll probably work. No,
Sweet.
wrong. That ain't
Great.
gonna work either.
They come around like, what's this SSID I see spun up over here? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Just put
It's a
guest
great
in and
idea.
it's
Like
fine.
Chris said, it's just not gonna work.
Well,
on
Justin, I'm glad you
campus.
brought up the assisted listening systems to do the same thing. Because, again, I think fantastic concept. Use the device you already have
We
in
use
your
that in
pocket.
churches all the time. It works great.
Right, but yes, there's a little bit of latency. They can use the headphones they already have, et cetera. That works great.
Yeah.
Until, step one, connect to a different access point. Or step one, get on this other network, so you log in through the VP. No, none of that is going to
And
work. It will not behave well.
Well,
I
and I
don't
talked
want
to-
things that are exceptions.
And I talked
Download
to our
an app.
network
There you go.
engineers about that, and they said that our current network is actually smart enough to where the access points would actually alert them that rogue Wi-Fi devices are around, and their policy is they would just go physically remove them. So what's going to happen is they're going to spin
typical.
this up. They're going to do that. They're going to put those Best Buy access points in. Network team's going to find them. They're going to take them all. And the whole building will have hearing assistance, but not actually have hearing assistance.
It's like an Easter egg.
That sounds like a game. Like you should go get a whole bunch of those old ones and just change all the names. Like you can't find me.
Yep.
Guess where I am.
Whack-a-mole. Yep, exactly. But no, they're going to say, hey, this was attached to your device in here, Justin. What do you know about this?
Oh, it's not Justin's device. No, Justin knows better.
So
that's not mine.
This happened to me. We had a bunch of spurious intermittent multicast traffic hitting the network. And we were trying to figure out where it was coming from. We narrowed it down to the network port and to the network switch and got all the way in there and found a Wi-Fi enabled active learning system, not emitter, but transmitter that was broadcasting out on occasion. The weird thing was it was in a space that had never been configured, never set up. It had nothing plugged into it. So that's cool. So we just pulled the power on it and walked away. And I don't know what it was from or what its purpose was, but there it was out there installed by rando integrator and goon, consultant goon who just spec'd stuff because they got a kickback from it. So
that's how they were doing as a service. That was their uplink for you. No,
it's
offline now.
Consultant goons are us.
Assistant listening as a service. You got it.
We'll draw stuff on paper that's wrong.
But you'll pay for it anyway.
On paper, it's
so
right.
You are a consultant.
Don't worry about it. On paper, it is correct.
No, I know how the game's played.
Play the game. Play that game. Get that money. I'm getting stuffed. This turkey though is still good.
It was good. As much as a hard grief time that I'm giving Larry, he
nonstop.
He did it the hard way,
the right way.
But sweat equity.
It is the
sweat
right way.
equity.
I am spritzing the turkey with sweat equity.
No shortcuts.
Yeah, that sweat equity is what's kind of led me to a device that I used to be really fond of, and I'm growing to really kind of get irritated by, and that's the fiber HDMI cables or the fiber USB cables, the extensions that you can get up to 150.
The active optical everything cables.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about?
Yeah, I used to love these things, especially the Plenum rated ones.
Oh,
what are you staring at me for, Larry?
Fight.
First the smoke, now the optical cables. This injustice will not stand.
Well, yeah. I'm just not going to be popular today. No, I do like them in certain applications, but what I found is I put them in by the hundreds before.
Just every
this sounds like a Jamie problem, not an optical cable problem.
The active electronics start to give. They quit. Or they don't. The voltage drop on some of the HDMI connectors or USB connectors, and they just don't work.
What about the ones you have to plug into like a little USB power supply to
you can do that as well.
Voltage.
You can do that as well. And I have a few of those also, and I do think they for the most part they do work really well. But when you put them into like the cable whip that goes from the wall to the podium, and they're moving around and they're getting stomped on, and they're right, and so they break, and then you sweat equity to replace these things. It's not just chop the head off. I mean, you've got to replace the whole thing, or if you have a technician that may be not as careful as they could be, you might go through 2 or 3 before you get a successful one installed the first time.
Again, that's a Jamie problem.
$1,000 into a cable.
Wow. Hey guys, did you hear something?
I understand having to terminate a cable twice, or maybe a third time if it's really tough. But
I thought I heard something. Never mind. Okay, I'm hearing stuff.
Look, that person may or may not work here any longer, but let's just say that their care and attention to detail and cable pulling and tinsel string wasn't a great idea.
I said
so
I was sorry.
I like them, but I'm souring on them as being I'm just going to put this in to save a few bucks, especially with HD base T getting cheaper, AV over IP getting cheaper. It's just easier. It used to be, the $175 for a 75-foot fiber cable was way worth it because HD base T was so expensive. And now I can get a $99 HD base T, yes, from the discount store, and it works.
Guys, do you hear something? I feel like I'm hearing something outside. Is it
So you
me?
trust the
Is it just
Walmart
me?
HD base T
I think it's just
more
me.
than the fiber cable.
Well, you put
it's
it was cooled off before you cleaned it up,
It's a
right?
little foggy outside. I'm not sure what. Well,
It was
actually,
cooled
wasn't
off,
foggy when I got
right,
here.
Justin?
Do you think somebody? Oh, do you hear that? Do you think somebody made the mistake we did last year?
I'm
Do you think that somebody
going
blew
to
up their
ask
house?
again.
What?
It was cooled off before you
What
did
was
something
cooled
with
off?
it.
What?
The smoker, you
The
doofus.
smoker is fire.
Well, I didn't check the temperature. I just loaded the
This would
van.
happen if you'd have stuck it in the oven, Larry.
Stuff what in the oven? What was that?
That's your
Holy
SUV, bro.
shit!
That was your SUV. I hope you
Oh,
got
no,
your insurance on
guys.
that.
We're going to Carolina next year. We're not doing this again.
Larry, did you buy the insurance when you rented that?
No,
Because
that's a
do?
ripoff.
your SUV's on fire, man.
What SUV? It exploded. It's gone.
Good luck explaining that one to Avis when you return it.
But the
my
turkey
bad.
was good. I'm not gonna lie.
It was worth it.
It
I
was
don't care.
worth it.
It was worth it.
But, well,
I don't know.
I suppose that's one way to end Thanksgiving. So, well, Jamie, thanks for hosting. Larry, thanks for cooking. And Mark, I hope your house rebuild's going a little better.
it's
But,
going. It's
I think next
It's
year
a
we're all going to
process.
Justin's house. See if we can try to do another AV Super Friends Thanksgiving where we don't set fire to somebody's
I
house.
don't
pool.
know.
And
The
the new
track
pool.
record
And
isn't
the
really
new
great.
pool.
I think
Justin,
Like
can
a
we set fire to your
polar bear
pool? Is that possible?
probably you could put some gas on top and do that.
We can do a
It might-
jello mold in it.
Does gas float on water?
Gasoline
Let's
does
find
float.
out.
If we can get the gas to float on the water and light it, we can just have a flaming pool.
I think it'd be a boiled turkey.
And we can put the turkey in the pool and cook
Don't
it that
cook
way.
turkey in the pool.
That's what we do in Kentucky.
Thanks for putting up with yet another episode of AV Super Friends on Topic. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at avsuperfriends.com.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV Super Friends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients. It's come to our attention that a lot of you may be missing out on a whole mess of other AV Super Friends content. Here's the deal. If you're hearing us only once a month, you're getting ripped off. Seriously. We have over 100 full episodes of content, and you've heard only about 1/3 of that. We release at least 3 shows every month, and you're hearing only one of them. To get the rest, go over to avsuperfriends.com, and you'll find links to your favorite podcast services like Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, and more. But if you want to do it right, you'll subscribe directly to our RSS feed to get each episode right away. Do it now!